I want to talk to you about how to trace an ACH transaction. So if you're a merchant, you really have to worry about that because not all of your customers will pay by credit card. Some people might actually pay you through an ACH transaction. So there could be scenarios where you need to really trace an ACH transaction. So here's an overview I want you to pay attention to. The thing is that when you place an order online or your customers places an order online, you have to really understand that sometimes the customer has to pay you through another means, not through a credit card per se. Okay, so if a customer actually chooses the ACH transfer, then you really have to have a clear idea how that works and whether or not you can track an ACH transfer in the first place. So, big question. The quick answer to that question is that yes, there is a way to track an ACH transfer when you are unsure of its status. To do this, as the sender, you will have to call up your payment processor, provide the ACH trace ID, and have them pull the details up. And on their end, what will happen here is that they have all granular detail, all granular data to see what really happens. Okay, on their end, they should be able to tell you where the data is. I mean, where the funds are, and when it will be received, when the ACH will be received. Now, you are able to find out where an ACH transaction came from as a recipient. All you have to do here is to log into your bank account online, find your online statement, and find the line item for more details. It's all about doing a little bit of digging, but it's totally possible to get things because see, nowadays things are done electronically. So you are able to get the funds information real fast. And to actually track money sent with transaction ID, you want to really call your bank or a payment processor and have them guide you through the process because every bank, every institution, every credit union has its own sort of process. So basically, it's one of those things where every bank has a different process, so to speak. Now, you can also go with just a check, right? Because an ACH is more the electronic ACH transfer is the electronic version. But if you don't want to go through all these things, just go with a check. ACH transactions, unlike paper checks, cannot be lost, stolen, or otherwise disappear. But if you like the idea of having something physical, go with a check. Let me explain to you a few examples of ACH transactions, okay? If you're curious about ACH transactions, how they're used in daily business operations, and how they can actually help you generate more revenue, I want to really give you a few examples. So, these automated transfers have become the standard for companies to pay utilities, pay vendors, make payroll, receive B2B payments from clients, accept B2C payments from consumers, and it almost always work without a hitch. Let me really go a little more. I want to exemplify things a little here. So when I say pay utilities, basically you can really your business or you as an individual can instruct your utility company to deduct from your checking account or savings account every month a certain amount, or you can really tell them or they can really deduct whatever they want to deduct, whatever they think the bill is for that month. So you can pay electricity, your electricity bill, your water bill, your all kinds of utilities for your home or your business. You can also pay vendors. I mean, maybe you have a vendor that really supplies you like equipment every single month, and this is on a recurrent basis. So you can really have a permanent order, a permanent direct order, or a direct debit order, where they actually debit your account every single month. So that's really good. That's a way to actually pay vendors. You can also make payroll, right? You can really make payroll. You can pay your employees through ACH transaction. For the employee, this will be direct deposit, but for you, from your end, it will be ACH transactions. So you can also receive B2B payments from clients. So B2B here, business to business. So this is actually applies for your business clients. So your business client can actually pay you through ACH transfers every single month. The same way you pay vendors, your customers can pay you too that way. You also have the ability to accept B2C payments from customers. So B2C, business to a consumer. So this is kind of cool. And one thing I want to say here is that the ACH transaction process is pretty straightforward. And like generally sort of efficient too. Let me give you a few facts here. Why would you need to track an ACH transaction anyway? Because I mean, if the whole process is so efficient, so seamless, why do you need to track things? Well, like with the package you bought online, you're not likely to bother even trying to start an ACH trace unless something seems to go wrong, right? And things go wrong. Things do go wrong. So, or when you are getting impatient and don't really remember exactly when the package or the money should arrive in the first place. So, assuming you waited for the 3 days for the ACH transaction to clear, you might need to check on the money if a couple of things happen. So, someone's paycheck didn't show up in their account, for instance, and in this case, you are the originating organization, or a payment sent for the reimbursement of employee expenses was not deposited. That's also another possibility, another problem here. Your vendor did not get the payment you sent for your last invoice. I mean, if you have a B2B relationship and you are paying a vendor, and the vendor actually is telling you, hey, listen, I did not receive the funds, this could be problematic. So this could be a cause for you to initiate an ACH transaction check. If the utility company says your bill is still outstanding, the last thing you want is the utility company to cut to cut to cut the provision of services, to cut your power or your water. You do not want to have that either at home or in the office. Or a customer or client has paid you, but you don't see the payment in your account. Like you really are trying to reconcile your cash inflows and cash outflows, and you realize something is there's a delta, right? In your accounting books, you're seeing that the customer has paid you because they phone you, they send you confirmation, they send you everything. So you are showing more revenue in your accounting records than in the bank. So that calls for a reconciliation, and that reconciliation will go through the an ACH trace, an ACH trace like process. Now, unfortunately, bank trace numbers let you follow the money and get visibility over every transaction. That's really important. Every transaction, you have a trace number. So, how do you track an ACH transfer? What are the steps you need to follow this year? Okay, let's say you have waited at least 3 days and haven't seen the money laying. You can contact, actually, at that time, you can contact your payment provider who will have procedures in place to follow up. So typically, you will only need to pull up the tracing number if a payment is bounced, or if there is a dispute, or even if there is the rare instance where your payment provider will have many other security standards in place, and none of them is actually allowing the funds to be released. Now, so tracking an ACH transaction involves the following steps. Step number one, you want to have ACH trace number lookup. So your payment company can trace your ACH transaction by pulling up your trace ID number. Every transaction has two ACH reference numbers. Only one of them is yours, by the way. The other one belongs to the other end of the transaction. So as transit routing numbers are communicated between the ACH network and your bank, it will take a few days to pull up these details. So be very careful on that front, okay? That's very important, especially from an accountability point of view. So the first step is you want to really you want to look up the ACH trace number. Step number two, you want to contact your financial institution. You want to contact your bank. You want to contact your credit union. So if you send the money, call your payment processor and have them pull up the ACH trace ID lookup. So when they're able to pull this up, they can also confirm all the details like the date, the amount, and the ACH tracking number. So they should be able to give you everything. So if you are waiting for money to arrive, in other words, you are the recipient, the potential recipient, you want to contact the payer and ask them to complete an ACH trace ID lookup. They should be able to give you an ACH confirmation number. You want to ask them to contact their bank or a payment processor, and you can contact yours too. Okay, that's really important from an accountability point of view. Step number three, tracking the payments. So it would be nice if you could actually do much more to track the payment yourself, but you can't, right? Just like a package you ordered online, those moving the package are the only ones who really know where it is. You might feel frustrated, but you can really rely on your payment provider to sort it out. Usually, they can find the money within the ACH network reasonably quickly. It's a pretty seamless process. Let me give you a few tactics here. How do you find out where an ACH payment came from? In other words, you are the potential recipient and you want to have a clear idea what's really happening with the money, okay? So basically, if you look out on your doorstep and see a package you were not expecting, you want to know where it came from, right? That's why we use return addresses aside from actually returning stuff. So if you receive an ACH payment in your bank account that you are not expecting, you will probably want to know where it came from, because otherwise, if you just get money and you don't really see where it really came from, you might be in trouble. Not to, as they say, look if a gift horse, like a gift horse in the mouth, but it's a small mystery that must be solved. And you want to have a clear idea of what happens. Everything about money, you want to have clarity here. So you want to use the same instruction to find the transaction details. The details mean that the details might remain hidden on your regular online statement until you click on the line item. Then voila, all is revealed and the mystery is solved. You have a clear idea who sent it, why they sent it, because they have to really input that data from their end too. Okay, the motive, why they send out the money, and the amount. Okay, so then you can call the company and say, oh, okay, if you don't remember, if you still don't remember why they're paying you, you can call the company and have a conversation about the remittance with their customer service. And if you still don't remember, it's just better to return the money. Don't ever actually accept money that you cannot justify, because otherwise, this is actually a source of problems. You never know. I mean, you could be happy in the short run, but hey, listen, you'll have to pay this like big time later on. So the whole idea here is to if you are not sure, it's always better to reject the transaction, and then later on they could still resend the transaction, because sometimes a sender might make a mistake. They might send the money to you by mistake, and if you accept it, and you spend it, you might have to reimburse it later on, and this could be more painful. One thing you also want to do here is that you want to provide the ACH confirmation number to your recipient. So if you're willing to trace an ACH transaction using the ACH trace number, it's important to understand that you want to be transparent with your recipient. You want it to be interactive with your recipient, and you want to really communicate as soon as possible. And this communication doesn't matter. It doesn't depend on where the recipient is located. Even if your recipient is not in the states, it's always important to really send them the kind of info you have, okay? Because if they're not in the states, the ACH confirmation number is not really relevant to them. But still, you want to confirm that, because their bank on their end could be able to confirm things, okay? Since ACH transfers are not immediate or not instantaneous, an ACH confirmation number often works as proof of payment. So when sending payment, you want to ask the recipient if they would like the ACH confirmation number. And this is kind of cool because this whole process proves the money was sent. Now, not that it was received, but that it was sent. Then, if there are any issues, they have everything they need to track the ACH transaction without contacting you. Because see, the thing is, once you provide all the data to them, they should be able to go to their bank or to their credit union and actually provide their credit union or their bank with that information, and everything should be pretty straightforward from that point on. One thing I want to say also is that when you provide the ACH confirmation number to your recipient, it really instills an extra layer of accountability, an extra layer of confidence, an extra layer of validation. Okay, you are solidifying your relationship with the recipient. In other words, you're showing them, listen, I've sent the money. I'm a legit business. I've sent the money, and here is proof that I have sent the money. Now, up to you to actually follow up on your end, and if it's still complicated for you to trace the money, get back to me, and I will just reach out to the financial institution to see where the money is at. So this is important. So let me talk to you now about knowing how to trace an ACH transaction with an ACH number. Basically, and why should you have this in the first place? When should you do it, and why you should do it in the first place? Well, you should do it this because you want to, again, if you are the recipient, you want to really know where the money is at. If you are the sender, you want to really instill a level of accountability in the transaction. But the bottom line here is that why you should do it, you really want to be able to run your business smoothly, right? Because when you think about ACH transaction, you are speaking about cash inflows and cash outflows. If you are the recipient, you are speaking about cash inflows. If you are the sender, you are speaking about cash outflows. The bottom line here is what? The bottom line is that you have to really understand how you position yourself and how you have to see where the money is at. It's not about where the money is at per se. It's about the amount too. Because if you are actually expecting a significant amount, you're not in the same sort of mindset as if you are, let's say, expecting a small amount, right? So the magnitude of the amount being transferred will play an important role as to how you react. But one thing I want to say also is that there is a way to really automate all these things. If you have the right payment provider, you are able to automate all these transactions without going through this whole process manually. In terms of tracing um, tracing an ACH transaction, you can actually have if you have the right payment processor, you can really accept credit cards, you can accept ACH payments, you can accept bank transfers, wire transfers, everything. Okay, and everything is handled from the payment provider will give you a software that automates the whole tracing, so you don't have to do it manually. You have the system is taking care of things automatically, and that's what you want actually. I mean, if you have a couple of transactions monthly, okay, but the more transactions you have, the more automatic you want the whole process to be, because otherwise you will not survive if you have to do things manually. That's why you have to really see what works for your specific organization and how to streamline things from the get-go. One thing I also want to say here is that there is a way for you to trace ACH transactions if you are sending the same amount or regular amount to recipients every single month. In other words, you have a recurring process. So if you have a recurring process in place, you are able to get things done in a streamlined fashion. Well, yeah, if you have any question about this conversation about how to trace an ACH transaction using the ACH trace number, please let me know, and one of our team members will get back to you. Will explain further, basically how to really sort things from your end. In conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about how to trace an ACH transaction using the ACH trace number. I gave you the overview, the facts, the tactics, and the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.